Picasso had a very big effect on art and how it is perceived. When I was still illiterate about human art, I didn't understand why. I was judging with just how close something is to reality. I hated Picasso's adult art. All I saw was it went from good to bad. But growing up and my knowledge growing with me, I started to appreciate the genius he presented in each of his works. Like, take a look at this. Mostly beside the Weeping Woman, it is the most famous work of his, Guernica. The level of details and meaning hidden behind each of them is magnificent. Everywhere you look is death and suffering. Like, look at the top left corner, the pole. Brutality and darkness with the tail of flames, and under it a weeping woman holding her lifeless son's body. To her right are the remains of a fallen defeated fighter with only his mutilated arms and lifeless head in the picture. Above him is his wounded horse with a spear going through his body, caring about himself only after his friend has died lying beneath his hoofs. But there is a small flower next to his hoof, a sign that even from the worst places humans can be, hope can emerge. To the painting top, you can find an eye-shaped light bulb that represents the eye of God, the surveillance, or the world just watching, neither intervening to stop the war or what this is doing to humanity. Beside that, the light that is coming out of it looks like a fire that's coming out of a bomb explosion, which can be a slight play on the word lamb in Spanish, which is bombilla. To the painting's right are the screaming and weeping women. One of them is trying to flee the burning building, while another is trying to get in with a source of light for guidance, with a siren right beneath her, indicating that she could be a nurse that is trying to save whomever she can. Her expression says it all. And the last small detail I want to mention is that the tongues of the animals are being daggers, showing the aggression Picasso wanted to pass on through the painting here. A painting with one meaning: war. While its elements each hold multiple meanings, a complex work that each detail is satiated with meaning. And his later painting weren't that type from a lack of skill. Picasso was very skilled. Look at this painting of his mother from when he was just 15. But Picasso, being a genius like most Earth's geniuses, not including Tesla, was a horrible human being. He, a man who quote-unquote revolutionized modern art, which he did, no one is denying that. But you peel back the layers and suddenly it is not just blue periods and cubism, it's a whole of a mess. Picasso didn't have muses, he had victims. Women weren't partners to him, they were fuel, inspiration until they cracked under the weight of being endlessly observed and painted, then disregarded. Take Dora Maar, a Peruvian surrealist, incredible mind of her own. Picasso turned her into a symbol of grief. She's the one behind the weeping woman, and then he left her. Crushed and hollowed out, she spent years in the mental health clinics while he just moved on to the next one. And it gets darker from here. You want to talk about ghosts? Because Picasso did have one, always did. His name was Carlos Casamegas. His early years best friends, his ride or die. Young, wild and full of dreams, they moved to Paris together, chasing the bohemian life they always thought after, soaking up art and absinthe like oxygen. But to Picasso, his friend was fragile. He fell hard for a woman, Germaine. To Picasso, that was enough for him to bail out on his friend. And you know the rest of the story that led to his blue period. To me, that's a despicable human being. But aside that, what I want to be mad about today is the result of his incestuous infidelity with his cubism, what we call the contemporary quote-unquote art. While it has one of the most heartbreaking and one of my favorite works of art, Portrait of Ross, that is not the standard this with restriction genre of art holds itself to. And why we are in this shitty hole is because he cracks the foundation of what art was. And once the crack started, there was no going back. He kept changing. Blue period, rose period, cubism, new classicism, surrealism, he never stood still. He showed the world that an artist didn't have to settle into a style. Reinvention could be the art itself. But how many times can you reinvent before you realize you stripped away too much and left with so little? Contemporary art has become a spectacle of emptiness, a shell of what it once meant to create, to master, and to move people. Somewhere along the way, concept eclipsed craft. Thought replaced skill. and meaning, it got lost in translation. And to me, that was on purpose. You get Duchamp putting a urinal in a gallery and calling it art. You get Warhol screen printing soap cans and repeating Marilyn Monroe until she's nothing more than a flattened idol. And then decades later, you get Maurizio Cattelan duct taping a banana to a wall and people calling it genius. We've gone from Michelangelo's Pieta to someone putting their dirty bed in a museum and saying it's about trauma. Thousands upon thousands of art galleries and exhibitions to showcase the fall he started. And that's why I hate him, and why you should too. And as always, consult your lawyers.